Hello, chat. Hello, everybody on the interwebs. I'm sorry that I'm late for this chat. I don't know why. I hit the little button on the OBS and it didn't play. Anyway, thank you for joining me for today's live stream. I'm very excited to be here. I hope it's actually broadcasting now. That would be nice to know. I hope you enjoyed the video that I just played in the beginning. Like, I'm trying to improve with every single broadcast, and I feel like we're making small steps forward. Like, for example, knowing whether or not we're live streaming. That would be handy. And for example, I hope the sound issues are also fixed. So I bumped up the sound so that you have better sound, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so let me know in the chat if something is off, because I'm trying to improve as I go. The first thing I want to talk about is this is going to be an off format issue. So I wanted to share with you the agenda for the day, which, ta-da, excuse my cough. Instead of roping people into questions this time, I wanted to address some general stuff that I've seen and been dealing with in the last month or so, because there are lots of topics that were talked about in all sorts of places, and I've been talking about many of them, but the very first one that I wanted to talk about was our achievements. There have been lots of wonderful things that have been happening on the channel, and I wanted to acknowledge some really great milestones that have happened not only in the last week, but also in the last month. We broke 400 subscribers, which I am thrilled to have. It's just amazing. Like, we're almost halfway to monetizationville. That's great. We have more than 175 videos uploaded to our channel, most of them shorts. We'll talk about that later. We have 175,000 views on the channel, which is astounding to me. We have excuse my cough. We have several hundred watch hours, which are really wonderful as well. Like, it's great. Like, with that many views, the watch time is going to go up, and we really are on the road to monetization. But we're also, like, we're interacting with a whole bunch of people within the YouTube community, within the Discord community, within the filmmaking community, the Facebook community. There are a lot of filmmakers out there that are having fun with the Friendly Filmmaker content and having fun with the brand in general, which is exciting and really, really rewarding. So it's really a nice feeling to know that so many people are having fun with us, and I just want to say thank you. So yay. Sorry. Okay, so I wanted to go over the agenda again. So my stream deck is over here. Yeah. Boop, and then boop. I love OBS. It's fun, but it does have its own weirdness too. I should talk about that, because I literally hit the go live button. I was sitting here talking for 20 minutes and then, like, nothing. It wasn't streaming at all. And I know I hit the button. It's very annoying. And there's no, like, I don't know, for those of you who leave a comment if you've used OBS before and know this pain point, like, there's no real feedback. Like, I see the recording button, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay. This is all staying in, folks. That's what you get with a live broadcast. But I'm happy to be here. So let's talk about what I want to talk about. So we're talking about fundraising, event planning, marketing, lighting, writing, shorts, editing, and exporting, which I had some fun adventures with. It wasn't cute. Like, it just... Look at my face. It wasn't cute. It was not okay. So... yeah, and autofocus versus manual, which is a fun thing that came up on Discord just the last couple days. Well, I'm sure it's come up before, but still. And yeah, I just want to jump right in. So one of the first things that you think of when you're thinking about being a filmmaker is you're like, oh, I'm a writer. Look, oh, I'm an artist. I am an actor. I am born to direct. I am so passionate about sound. Music is my bag. Everything creative. Nobody says, well, very few people say, this is where I'm getting to. Stay with me. Nobody really says, I love paperwork. Accounting? Sign me up. What? Insurance? Yes, please. Like, you don't get that kind of vibe when you're actually trying to put together a film. But guess what? For some of the projects, you can get away with some run and gun. But even in the indie community, you have to pay people, you have to insure people, you have to get locations, you have to have contracts, you have to have paperwork. And sometimes, and this is where I'm going, when you want to make a project of a certain caliber, when you want the fancy cameras because you know how to use them, when you want the fancy makeup because you know you want that in your film, when you want specific costumes, these things cost money. And unless you're sitting on a bag of money like Scrooge McDuck, you're going to need to learn how to fundraise and market. And that's a different realm of producer work that a lot of people, A, don't want any part of, and B, are intimidated by. So I thought I'd broach the subject a little bit because these three things, learning just the basics is really going to help your future projects, at least when you look at other people's campaigns, look at what other people are doing in terms of deciding, do I want the business cards? Do I want the posters? Do I want the billboard on the bus? Do I want the billboard on the highway? Like, do I want Facebook ads? Do I want whatever? Like, all of these things are micro decisions that make or break success in the indie world. Like, do I want the platform that has a bunch of horror fans on it? Do I want to Instagram versus Facebook versus Twitter versus Blue Sky? Like, what's the best place to be? All of that has to do with the drudgery of being a producer and the fundraising and the event planning and the marketing aspects of making a project happen. It's not necessarily fun, but it is interesting to learn about, and I do draw some creative pleasure from doing that kind of work because I'm a very organized person, but not everybody likes that kind of stuff. And so it's if you're in the camp of like, I just want to be an artist, man, please don't make me do any paperwork, which I have a short up about that exact thing on my shorts feed, so you should find that. If you know that that's not you, then just own it and find the people, have the conversations aggressively, even hustle if you have to find a person who is good at it and who likes it, who doesn't feel like their time is being wasted by doing this just because they're good at it or that they're not being paid for it or like that work is necessary work sometimes. But I wanted to kind of go over some of the basics so that anybody who's out there who's trying to raise funds for a film can feel a little bit more empowered to get to doing it. So the fundraising and the event planning and the marketing, I feel like all three of them kind of go together because you're trying to plan the event, even if it's just the production shoot, like you've got to plan for that. But the fun, and sometimes you have like parties or something to go along with fundraising for, that's a different bag of tea, that's up to you. But there's also a lot to be said for knowing your way around the platforms. And so I'm going to go over a few of them with you. The main four, which maybe you already know this: Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Seed and Spark, and GoFundMe. Those are the main four platforms that are currently hosting people's projects to accept donations for the project and deliver payments to that person's bank account when it's done, or their PayPal or whatever they set up. And I wanted to talk about what that looks like in the modern landscape, because I think the world is starting to realize, especially from the creative sphere, especially after the WGA strikes and the SAG strikes, people are starting to value their time a little bit better, and they're starting to value like money also differently too, because like when you've been on strike for 5 or 6 months and you've not got anything, and then you want to make a movie, suddenly you start to see those numbers a little bit differently. Indiegogo and Kickstarter used to be wonderful, dependable platforms, and they still are, and they're still very popular, and they're still like rock solid in terms of delivering what they promise, which is they will host your stuff, they will make it look nice, they will have an algorithm that promotes some things that are more popular so that people can see it, so strangers can donate and all this stuff. People, there's brand recognition with those platforms that is undeniable, but there's also a lot to be said for Seed and Spark and Indiegogo, who are saying, you know what? These forums don't take a lot to manage once they've been set up. These forums don't take a lot of percent of money to process once the payments are in. And we're just not going to charge the creators or the people in need as much as the other two do. And heads are starting to turn. So I've used Indiegogo, I've used Kickstarter before because that's where you went. But Seed and Sparks is starting to make a name for itself. And GoFundMe is starting to drop some jaws too because, and yes, you'll find some scams on GoFundMe, so please do be careful. But you will find that there's a lot to be said for the socialist model of of like, we understand that filmmakers are broke. We understand that artists are broke. We understand that like if you don't have like a heavy duty production studio within a machine that's been established and around for a long time, you don't have the funds to just throw around. And so if every dollar counts and you have a $2,000 budget, which platform would you like to host on? The one that takes 10% or the one that takes 4%? I mean, you do the math. And not only that, but like they've proven time and time again that you can run a business like that. GoFundMe employees get paid. Seed and Spark employees get paid, and they enjoy a 4-day work week. And not only that, but like we just recently discovered through our own experience that they even have a feature that Indiegogo and Kickstarter don't have, which is they will look at your stuff and give you notes before you go live. Like, obviously, there's the barrier to entry with any form. You can program a form. Any monkey can program a form to say, oh, this field has to be filled in before we can let you go live. Yes. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Seed and Spark saying, hey, I watched your video and it's good, but we think that the sound could be used a little bit of improvement, or the pacing could use a little bit of improvement, or if you want to make it more engaging, maybe make the edit a little bit shorter, be a little bit more aggressive. They read and watch everything. There's a human being that spends time to look at all the submissions and then gives notes catered to each and every individual creator team to improve, not just finish, but improve the campaign that they're setting up. That floored me. That absolutely floored me. I was very excited and when that was part of the process, because it's like, it's so human, it's so connected, and it's so understanding of what we creators go through. Like, these don't come around like just by magic. So like, we didn't do this. We didn't set this up overnight. It literally took us several weeks of work, talking, finding typos, deciding what to put in there, deciding on the language, deciding on the graphics, making the video, polishing the video, re-uploading the video, making another edit, polishing that. And here it is in all its wonderful glory, live. And just for the record, like, yes, it would be nice if you donated, and we appreciate any donation that comes through, but that's not the point of this. The point is that I'm trying to help the filmmakers out there who are in a similar boat, maybe want to run a campaign, maybe want to start a fundraising thing. And I'm going to talk about this more through the lens of, this is what we did, this is our experience, and this is how you can get a leg up from where we started to use our knowledge for your benefit. And yes, we do appreciate any sort of donation. If you choose to support us, thank you very much. But that's not my goal here. My goal here is to share what we did, talk about what in broad strokes, so that you can use it and hopefully have success from the project you're trying to fund too. So yeah, the first thing I want to say is that, I mean, the video is definitely clutch. Like, you want to make an entertaining video for your project that engages people, has a few graphics. It really has to grab people's attention, hold it, and don't overstay your welcome. So after several edits, I mean, feel free to watch this for yourself, but I'm going to play it for you right now. So we loaded our poster, which, by the way, I just got printed
What's going on,
today.
everybody? I'm Tony Rick. I'm the creator, writer, and producer of the upcoming feature film, The Wolf Boy.
And I'm Andrew August. I'm the director of The Wolf Boy. You can tell because of my hat, right?
You look like you're about to go on a Jurassic Park trip.
It's a good movie.
We're here today because we want to make it quick and short with you. We're making a seed and spark to raise funding for the film, and we're going to need your help to make it possible. We're going to need a lot of the money for the equipment.
It's true.
Also, some of the money
we even
is
talked
gonna
about
go
like
towards
what
special
images to
effects
show.
makeup, because this movie is going to be all special effects and no CGI to give it that creature feature film. It's a period piece taking place in 1968, so
We talked
if we
about, like, where to
extend
put
some
these
of the budget,
images.
it's going to go towards wardrobe, vehicles,
And this is
also
from
help the cast
the,
and crew be fed and
This is
necessities
from
like
the
that to make
lookbook
it
thing
possible.
that they did,
The special
like a
effects
trial
and makeup
run,
effects are going to be a
photo
good
shoot
chunk
slash
of
video
the,
shoot
the money
rehearsal
we're
with the
using
actors who wound up being
for
in
this
this.
film, and we want to make that look as
These are images
real
that Andrew and
kinda
Tony
disgusting
took on that day.
as we can.
It's possible. And if we hit our goal, we plan
Look
on
at that,
shooting
look at
this
that
film
dress.
summer of 2024 with
good
an early
lighting.
release of early 2025.
dark, but it's
I
good
think
lighting.
that's about it. And
There
thank
you
you so
go.
much for watching.
All right,
And
thank
See?
you guys.
No, don't overstay your welcome. Talk about the things you want to talk about. Show some examples of what you want to do, and move on. Like the whole thing is 100, and you got everything you need in a minute 20. Like, and this again took a little bit of back and forth. And not only that, but the first version was over 2 minutes long. And then the Seed and Spark people were like, "Oh, you need to tighten it here." And then we did. And then we internally were like, "Well, how can we make it even better?" Because we were on a roll now. We were like, "Okay, let's talk more about this before we hit the go live button." So I'm pretty proud of this. And I mean, that's just this. Like, you need to have a solid video. Like, so if you're doing that, you gotta have the time to do it. The Tony and Andrew went above and beyond too, because as I'll get to here, we were deciding on how to make all these images. Tony made a new logo for his budding company, for his film brand. We got an artist to do some demo posters. We got several artists actually to submit some artwork. Brian did the branding to keep it consistent. The color choices are deliberate. The font is deliberate. The layout is deliberate, like what we're talking about. What's the story about? This is awesome too, because this is kind of a lookbook, but it's like put together by the creators. So they had a trial run. All of these images are ours. You know, like this is what the guys did when they put together a day to do this in indoor shoots, outdoor shoots, in the woods, out in some caves, on the beach, as you can see. Like, they worked really hard with a little bit of minimal makeup over here, obviously, like this blood and the wolf hands. Like, they had a makeup artist come in and do those things. Look at her dress, look at the production design over here. Like, they were not clowning around. They did this on purpose. And we're telling you, like, what we want. Like, that's the other thing, is that no matter what, you have to be incredibly honest. Like, just look at my face. Honest. I'm not messing around. So, above all, I mean, obviously from a business standpoint, if you want to be a little cutthroat in terms of your logical thinking, to appear to your logical side, you will lose credibility if you're not honest. You will seem like a flake. You will seem like a deceiver. Is like, oh, was that the deadline? Oh, deadline has so many meanings in the English language. Or like, I forgot. Like, no, you can't forget. Or, oh, I actually don't know. No, you have to know. You're a business owner also. You're not just a filmmaker, you're a business owner. And you have to lay it out so the people know where their money is going to. So your donors know how their money is being spent and feel good about giving it to people who can take it and do the thing that they want to do competently. They want to have faith that their donation is being used well, that there's a spiritual return on their investment. And so you have to deliver on that promise. So that's first and foremost. And every single line of this has been thought through and is very honest about what it is that we intend to do. We're going to shoot next year and have it wrapped up by the following year. It's a feature. This is the look that the gentlemen in charge have decided on. I don't know about the blue color palette. Like, I'm a DP, so I'll throw in my voice here and there. But yeah, I mean, this is the style of the era that they're going to be filming in, and And yeah, and one of the things that we want to talk about is like budget. You have to tell people, like I said, you have to tell people where their money is going, how it's being spent, and you have to both encourage them that, hey man, we're not going to squander your hard-earned money. And two, we are competent individuals. Like, we may be artists and creatives, but we know what things cost, we know where we can cut corners, and we know what we can't cut corners on. And in our example, for example, we're making a creature feature. The one thing we cannot cut costs on is makeup. Makeup. It's a primary cost. And I mean, that's the one thing we can't skimp on. We're talking with, and we lay it out there too. So we're talking with Emmy-nominated makeup artists who have done this for a living for several years, if not a couple decades at this point. And we're putting together a team of people who really know what they're talking about. We're talking about people that have the capability to mold faces. Sorry about that. Mold faces and put together prosthetics where needed, blood effects that look realistic, that have the right color, that will read right on camera, that use the material that won't stick or stain or make somebody allergic. You have to take care of the actor that's sitting in that makeup chair for a long time. You have to consider their allergies. You have to consider their time. How much time is spent in the makeup chair also very much matters. It has to be easy to remove so that you're not causing somebody problems. Like Lord of the Rings, the guy that was playing Gimli was allergic to his makeup, and he just gritted down and bore it because there was no alternative, even though they looked for one. Like, commitment aside, you don't want to hurt your actors, you know what I mean? So, excuse my cough. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of the people there, and you want to make sure that you also lay it out there. So these materials are very specifically solving the problem of filmmaking. You're talking about 12-hour days. You're talking about things that have to withstand weather sometimes, things that have to withstand sweat, that have to be breathable so that you're not suffocating the actor in a full body makeup, that have to be non-toxic, that have to be long-lasting, the colors read well, the pores look good, so that if somebody's filming in 8K, they won't expose like flaws or edges or anything like that. The person has to be competent, knowledgeable, and quick, and creative problem solver. You pay for that person, you pay for their expertise, you pay for their time, you pay for the makeup. The materials themselves are incredibly expensive by lay people standards. And we laid it out there in our budget. The one thing we cannot skimp on, like, people can eat granola bars, people can carpool, people can maybe bunk in like three beds in a bed and breakfast versus whatever. We can skimp on locations, sound, sorry, not sound. We can skimp on locations, food, travel, and things like that, costumes, things like that. Like, maybe we can raid some closets and get things for free, but we cannot skimp on makeup. And we laid that out there. And it's like, just to give you a ballpark, one creature might cost upwards of $10,000. That's a lot. But when you consider what I've already laid out for you, you start to understand what it looks like. And not only that, but like, there's not one creature, there's two. Teaser. Shh. So that's why we have a minimum of $20K just for the makeup. That's not factoring in locations, insurance, or anything else. And then we lay everything else out in the budget. Like, we're doing a creature feature. That's the one thing we can't skimp on. Like, sorry, we can use my Sony A7C to film the thing, but we can't skimp on the makeup because it'll read on camera and it'll look like a joke. Speaking of, so then we lay it out there. We're like, okay, well, we can afford to have better locations, better set dressing, better materials that make the film look more authentic. Then the next thing, we can increase the compensation to pay people a decent day rate instead of borrowing and stealing minutes here and there. We can also feed them something that isn't in a discount bin in Walmart. You know, after that we can spring for things like a drone shot that we would really like to get, or a car that we would really like to have on the street. These elements add to draw in the person and to make them believe that like we're looking in a lens in the 1960s. You want the costumes, you want the cars, you want the aesthetic, you want the license for that perfect song, you want these bells and whistles that really each contribute to the final product. But the one thing, like we said, like, so that's why our stretch goal goes all the way up to 100K. And that's like, we didn't even talk about insurance. Like, we have to get insurance for all some of this stuff too. And so, I mean, yeah, it's an ambitious project, and we lay everything out there because everything has been thought through. So if you're running if you're planning to run a fundraiser in the future, just know that you've got to lay all of this out, and you've got to think all of this through. It's no joke running a fundraiser. It's no joke setting one up, but it's also no joke running it. Because once it's up and running also, like, you're talking about making emails, phone calls, plans to hit up your relatives or your coworkers to have everybody, like, you're working in indie. Again, we're not A24. We don't have an established machine. We don't have a bank account that's flush full of cash that we earned from the last several projects and we can devote to making the next thing to then earn it back. And, we're not in a machine of any kind. We're starting from nothing. And so that's why we're like, okay, this is what we need at minimum. Everything else we can hustle. But yeah, we're being ambitious with this one. And if we can get all the way up to where we want, then it would make our lives a lot easier. But, you have to be realistic when you're setting up a campaign too. So, like, when you're talking about a campaign, don't forget to thank people for their time as well. Like, it took us a long time to write, but we're not entitled, and we're not, like, taking for granted the fact that people are sitting there and reading all of this and digesting it and considering it and maybe having their worldview opened up to the fact that, hey, these things are really expensive. Although this platform is full of artists, specifically filmmakers, mostly filmmakers come to Seed and Spark. Excuse me. Podcasters and musicians also have been here, but a lot of filmmakers make their stamp here. But still, I mean, every single person who takes the time to read through all of these well-thought and well-written materials, we do want to appreciate their time. This thank you is not an idle thank you. We genuinely mean it. And that's just part one, because you guys, there's more that you have to do when you're setting up a fundraiser. You have to do a wish list. For this, you have to do a wish list, which, again, every single image has been curated by us to tell the story of what it is that we're doing. We're talking about food. We're talking about transportation. Like, this is a conservative estimate. Food for a feature film, $3,000. Are you kidding? Like, that's the Walmart bin. That's the very bare minimum. That's auntie auntie coming over to cater out of her kitchen, or, just stuff that you've had in the freezer for just long enough that, hey, it's kind of expired, but not really. I think we're fine. So, you make a thing. And yeah, so we've put all this stuff together, and you can feel free to look through it. Every single thing has been, again, thought through. Updates, we're starting to list updates. The team, we list ourselves. I should put my picture up, because I didn't do that yet. And yeah, so that's who we are. And then the community, there's a lot of people that have donated. Some people have accounts here. Some people have been messaging us really kind messages. There are some friends and family here, and there are some people that are new and unknown to us, which is kind of mind-blowing to have donations from people we've never met and are still interested in the story, which is great. And just know that while you're running the fundraiser, this is very important. While you're running the fundraiser, your job is not done. You cannot just sit back and be like, hey, job's done. What have you got to do? You've got to do quite a lot of hustle and legwork. And I say this in the kindest way possible, because if you're trying to engage people, you have to really work to get their attention and get their time and make them care. And don't make the mistake that just because you have a good idea and you have a good vision that other people are going to see it and naturally come. It's not a situation of if they build it, they will. If you build it, they will come. They won't. Not yet. There are too many places to go to. So you have to have a little bit of self-awareness to know that if you want to grab people's attention, you're going to have to work for it. And here's the fun part. The average person needs about like 6, I think I read this somewhere a million years ago, so of course I'm an expert. 6 reminders to do anything. 6 reminders. And that could be self-generated. That could come from an email. That can come from a checklist. This is why our phones are so very powerful, because you can put, you can use your task managing software of choice to give you those reminders so that you don't drop any balls, because we got a lot of things going on. Every single person has appointments and families to think of, and jobs and things like that. Like, you're talking about people, not some entity that magically has money for you. So when you consider it through that lens, then you start to say, okay, I want to talk to my friends. I want to talk to them about why this matters. I want to talk to them about what I'm trying to do, and hit up the people that maybe I haven't talked to for a while, or I have talked to a while ago. I want to make them care, and I want to give them something back for helping me, because that's what it is. And maybe you help them with other things that they do. There's a lot of sweat equity that happens in independent film. You could leverage some of that, and have fun along the way. When you're talking to your friends, like, talk to your friends, like, remember that they're human, and be like, hey, nah, man, no foul if you don't have the cash, but hey, man, if you can help me spread the word, that'd be really great, and like, mean it, you know. So there's messages, phone calls, emails, and then on this segment, make sure to put updates. You know, you want to make sure that you update the community that is already supporting you, and to be like, hey, we're still running our fundraiser, and we're, 1 week in. Thank you for the people that have done this so far. This is where we're at. We're planning the party. Like in our situation, we have a party on October 28th. So please come to that if you can. Link is in the description. It's going to be a really fun Halloween party we're feeding people for the ticket price. Like, you get included dinner, which is a big, like, we're pretty much breaking even at that point, right? And then, and also like a drink. And then there's raffles, and there's entertainment, and there's a dance competition and a costume competition. We're encouraging people to dress up because it is Halloween. We're throwing a Halloween party, and it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to MC the heck out of it, and I can't wait. Like, I bought decorations, I bought posters, I bought lots of like swag. I'm not telling you what. You have to show up to come and see what you can get. Like, I have a giant bin that goes round and round and round, and I'm gonna like have this rotating bin to like pull raffle tickets out. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be hilarious. Like, I bought one just so I could have it. It's gonna be a really fun time. So anyway, I'm just putting that on your radar. October 28th, 6 p.m. Link is in the description. Grab yourself a ticket before they sell out, because there is a limited amount of seats and they are starting to sell. So get yourself a ticket and come and play and network and meet people and take a picture with the Wolf Boy, because he's going to be dressed up as a full Wolf Boy makeup. It's going to be astoundingly fun. So I just wanted to put that on everybody's radar. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of like that. I wanted to talk about that because all of that work, all of that legwork is part of those 3 tickets: marketing, event planning, fundraising, talking to people, posting on the socials, sending out emails, sending out text messages, sending out vines or whatever. Excuse me. Tagging people in the Instagram, all the things. And it's going to be interesting for first timers who are going to go through this, because I think that networking element, that people interaction element, is very underused by people who just want to be artists. But the people who want to make their own things, they have to either acquire these skills or really make good friends with people who already have those skills. So I just wanted to bring that up, because that's one thing that we've been talking about. Lighting, I want to talk about next. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was lighting. Lighting has been a really good topic of conversation for all month, basically. I've been talking about lighting because one of the great things about doing a creature feature is that you want to make the look good. The moon looks very aesthetic. There's a certain film noir aesthetic to it, and you achieve that through lighting more than you do from camera. I could take this A7C that has autofocus and like a very prosumer camera, like out of the box, or I could take my Blackmagic with the Rokinon lenses. These are not Arri Alexas, right? But if I light it well, you won't know the difference. And even better, if I get one little tiny Pro Mist filter up in front of that lens, now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas. So lighting especially has been foremost on my mind, just because I'm studying the projects that have come before. And I'm having conversations with people about like, oh, this scene has this mood, so these color temperatures, these lights, these placements. One of my friends asked me, how do you light a room to make it look like a 15-watt light bulb lit it? Because I want this particular shot in my particular movie to have this feeling. And I was like, whoa. Well, first off, my friend, you're talking about a lot of variables that have to be answered. How big is the room? How big is the scene? How long is the scene? How is this a flickering light? Is this a modern light? Is this a shabby light? Is this a broken light? Is this a red light? Is this in the nighttime or just sunset? What time of day is it? What time of what type of mood is it? What color is the actor wearing? Is it an iPhone light? Like how? And then just where's the placement? Is it to this side, to this side, to this side? What's the motivation of the light? Like, is it lighting the person's face or just keeping them in shadow? Like, you got so many questions to answer just on that one prompt. It's a lot of fun to think about. And we're going to talk more about lighting on this channel. And we're going to talk, right now, like, you could hit up YouTube and just look at lighting tutorials all day, every day, all day. So much lighting tutorials already exist in the YouTube university, as I like to call it. So I'm just encouraging you to take a look at it and think about it through that lens, so to speak. Okay. Hang on. I want the joke. All right, I'm done. But yeah, I just wanted to bring it up because I felt like it. Because it's my stream and I came. So let's talk about the next thing. Writing. Oh my gosh. Writing and shorts for me have been going together because I've been doing a short every single day as much as I can anyway. Yeah, that reminds me. I need to schedule one for tomorrow. I've been doing shorts, and for me, these are great little exercises. They bring me back to my JVC days, and not only that, but I've been trying to do compilation videos and retrospective videos and kind of like director's breakdown videos of what I've done with the shorts so that I can maybe help people on their journey of making shorts by themselves, or especially help actors. One major comment that we get is actors and writers and DPs and directors, all of them are like, I know what I want to do. I want to do those things, but I don't have a reel. I can't sell myself. And one big motivating factor of why I do the shorts, the way I do the shorts, is to prove that you don't need a lot to get yourself out there. And so I have my phone, I have a wall with some light that I use, natural light that comes in through the window. I try to film during the day. I find actually one pro tip is that if you have brighter images in your shorts, people are more likely to watch them than the darker ones. Every single time that I've done either film noir or it's been nighttime and I had like darker lights, those videos underperformed every single time because people want to see something bright when they're looking through some shorts. When they're scrolling through shorts, they want to see something bright. They want to see people's faces. They want to see something cheerful. Yeah, darkness and nighttime and black and white don't really do well on shorts. So that's one thing that I learned. A little pro tip for the next coming video. And yeah, I'm doing like retrospectives. The first 30 shorts, you can watch this video on my channel right now. It's I put together the first 30 shorts, and what I did there very deliberately was that I wanted to test the camera capability, the capability of the shorts by themselves, just in and of itself. And so that's what I did. I wanted to see about the filters, about the what the app can do in terms of the timeline manipulation, adding text, adding music, everything. I just wanted to know about what the app could do by itself without me having to download CapCut and download all of these other things that then demand time for me to A, learn, and B, use. And I wanted to come back to my JVC days because like making movies with my sisters in my backyard was just so fun. And one of the great things about the limitations of using a camera, especially if I didn't know how to edit, which I didn't know how to edit, is you were filming on, even if it was digital film, it was still film, like the little tapes that were in there. And if we blew a take, first off, we had to film everything in sequence. And if we blew a take, then you had to rewind to the exact frame, almost the exact frame. There was a little bit of wiggle room. I remember this so clearly. There was a little bit of wiggle room, like, oh, we did this. Oh, it'll be a tighter edit. Just hit record and let's do this again. You really, like, there was no time for action. It was just like, because action would be on the film itself. So, so when I'm making my shorts, that's how I make them. I don't actually edit them. I edit them in the app. So when you see me switching hats, fun fact, when you see me switching hats or putting on the mustache, or doing anything, I'm literally doing it for the next take. I am not at all going into a computer and then editing it post. It's all live. So I have to remember, sometimes I have to remember lines, sometimes I have to remember body position, sometimes I have to remember the note of a song that I was humming. Sometimes I have to do that so that I can swap in between the characters that I'm doing as seamlessly as possible. And I have to maintain eye lines. Like, it's actually challenging, but it's also really, really, really fun. It's like I'm playing in the backyard with my mom's JVC again. It's been so much fun. And they've been getting some views. A lot of positive comments. Sometimes I have an idea for what I want to do. Sometimes I'm literally standing there staring at the wall thinking of what I want to do. And other times I'm like, oh man, I've got like 3 built up. Let's go. So it's been a really fun journey, working on writing, working on acting, and working on shorts, and working on directing, and a little bit of framing. Because if you notice, actually, every single time I'm wearing the mustache, I'm not head on in the camera. I actually have my diminutive stature like this, and I try to make myself like a little short and ignorable. Like, I do that. I dwarf myself in the frame on purpose, slightly. Whenever I'm the robot character, I lift the camera up so that I have a more imposing figure. There's a little bit of DP work going into these too. Like, it's subtle, but it's there, you know? So, so I've been having a lot of fun. Sorry again for my cough. We're just hanging out. Yeah, let's move on to the next thing I wanted to talk about, which was editing and exporting. Oh my god, I've had some funny things. So a friend of mine asked me to, and this is actually keyed into my iPhone video. Let's load my iPhone again. This is actually really cool. I'm wirelessly connected to my iPhone right now. Hello. Isn't that great? And the image quality looks pretty good. Now let's talk about image quality, because this image quality looks actually really nice. Look, I can take my phone any old where, like hello again, and let me reposition it so I don't look like a fool. Oh, which way? And I never was good at video games, so I've got the whole backwards, like, like reverse controls. No, normal, whatever. When it comes to the iPhone, the log profile and the color science that happens behind it when I'm streaming like this looks really good. I was really surprised by that, and I'm very happy with it. And from now on, if I want to use my iPhone, I'm probably going to do it through OBS, because it's doing a really good job. But here's the thing: when I use my iPhone out and about, and then I load footage into this, or I get footage from somebody else who wants me to do a quick edit, but they recorded something on their phone, no matter what, like, Adobe seems to fail with that, like, a lot. I had so much trouble in the last 2 weeks with just getting the export. This is the hurtful thing. This is what really burns my bubble. I get the footage onto the timeline. I mix it with the other stuff. I color correct it to where I'm happy with what it looks like. I'm like no expert in color correction, especially with like stuff that's been already done. If I tweak it too much, it starts to look really artificial and hard and like not very good. And so I'm like, I'm doing my best. Everything looks decent on the timeline. I've got everything. I've got the music. I'm ready to export. What happens in the export? Those iPhone clips get exported as some blown out version of themselves, and I don't know why. And I had to do some serious digging to figure out, if I turn off the effects tab, but then I turn on the wrong effect, and I look like I have red lips on those. Like, what is even happening? And apparently there are different color default profiles. I'm still learning about this, so sorry, I'm no expert on this. But the iPhone footage and phone footage in general has a different color base. So when you're talking about S-Log footage, that's not what you record on by default. But it is on this camera and on more prosumer cameras. So you've got the log profiles that are default pulled down by Adobe to manipulate your footage. That also gets applied to the iPhone footage. But on the timeline, you can color correct around it and everything looks good. But when you export it, it's pulling those things differently. Because now it's saying, oh yeah, this looks fine on this. But, this is iPhone clip. So we're going to pull this in the last possible second and manipulate your footage and just blow it the F out. God, it took me so long to fix that problem. And you know what it was? Like, I just went in and I underexposed everything so that it would overexpose it. And that was my quick hack fix. So there you go. For those of you suffering from the same problem. Because apparently you have to go in and you have to select the clip in the bin. You can't even do it on the timeline. You have to do it through the bin. And then you have to select a very specific iPhone specific color thing to convert it to. And not only that, but I wasn't actually able to find it in the menu. So I don't even know. Like, it's very frustrating working with iPhone footage. I look forward to more tests though, because I'm very happy with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And I will do some more footage. I already got some test footage and some test images that I can't wait to share in a future video. But one pain point is definitely working with it in Adobe. So now I'm thinking to myself, maybe it is time to switch to the other one, the one that's Mac specific. Ugh, I don't remember. FX, what is it called? It's killing me that I don't remember. And of course I'm live, so great. You guys know what I'm talking about, the one on the Mac. You know what? I'm going to post a little thing here. There. Because I can't remember. I legit can't remember right now. Yeah, it's time to switch. And maybe even DaVinci. I've had some bad luck with processing sound on DaVinci. So I've got some trauma working with DaVinci Resolve. And I know that it's wonderful for colors and really very wonderful for doing color magic and color swapping and getting nuanced things. I even have a loop deck I want to hook up and play when I have more time. And but it doesn't have everything. And of course, you just use the right tool for the right job, right? So I want to learn more if it's easier working with, especially since this is an iPhone, stay within the ecosystem and edit on a platform that maybe will be nicer to my iPhone footage. So I'm going to take that into consideration when I make my iPhone video. Okay, so that's really that on that point. Let's move on. Right, so exporting was an absolute nightmare. It really was a nightmare. I just did the quick hack of underexposing. You're welcome, internet. That's what you do. But yeah, there's a specific thing, and it's in the Adobe Docs, and I'm like, I don't have time for this. I just don't have the time or the heart or the patience for this. I've got so much else going on. You're really going to stump me with this problem. It looks good on the timeline. Why doesn't it export this way? Adobe. Seriously. All right, moving on. So I wanted to make that pain point. And then autofocus versus manual. Now, this was a fun topic that came up very recently because I was talking to gearheads out there with autofocus cameras. I just came off a 48-hour film project where we literally had a moment happen where we were all on the Blackmagic. And Blackmagic does not have autofocus. The lens that the Rokinon lenses, I think they're capable of it. I'm not sure. Actually, I have to look that up. But it doesn't matter because if Blackmagic can't do it, then you don't have it. The Sony does. And I, for fun, was vlogging on my way up to that shoot. Or down, I should say. It was in Connecticut. No, it was in Rhode Island. Sorry. And so I literally just had it in the front seat of my car because I had been vlogging earlier that day. And it saved our bacon. This little camera saved our bacon on that shoot. And because we were able to finish the project and even have those multiple looks where it looked like a little sharper versus the nicer look that you get out of the Blackmagic, we were able to have like a really nice looking project at the end of it because this part was in real life and this part was in the other part. It worked. And it saved our bacon. And I put this camera with a small lens on a gimbal, and we used it for some of the shots. We used it for the majority of the shots. So we had a lot of fun working with it. And I'm pro autofocus, as it were. Autofocus is a really good tool, and it's come a long way in the last several years. A very long way. Because, of course, any DP who has been working in the industry for a long time has the chops, has the feel, has the touch, has the experience worked out to pull focus. It's part of their job. Literally, blowing focus on a shot is the worst thing you want to hear from a DP say, oh man, I blew focus. I'm so sorry, everybody. Because they have to reset, redo it again. That's time spent. That's the director. That's the actor. Sometimes if it's a pivotal, very important scene and you have the DP blow focus, it's like the worst thing to happen. DPs, practice your focus pulling. Seriously. Please. Please. But given that, there's also a bent of, so a lot of DPs are like, no. You know, I turn my nose up at autofocus. Autofocus can't even do what I want to do. And that's a fair criticism. Somebody who's focus pulling their entire life maybe has the fine touch worked out to such a fine degree that they literally can get anything at the drop of a hat, and they're happy. But if you are not that person, which the majority of us are not, having a capability where it can follow a person's face, and even when they turn around, it doesn't lose focus of the subject as they're moving around in a sea. It can perform better in low-level performance. It follows the subjects, multiple subjects. It can switch between them at a push of a button from you. So you've got your rack focuses. You've got your things. It can do an action scene without losing or jittering or losing focus or pulling in and out, or like autofocus capabilities in most lenses and camera bodies have really upped their game in the prosumer market. And it's worth mentioning, especially for the indie community who may not even know how to pull focus yet, but they want to make a movie. And so why should you not have access to a tool that will help you do that? I just think that sometimes the debate and the butting of the heads, because there are some people that are so elite when they talk about autofocus versus manual focus, and they're so up their own butts about it. Sorry. That I just thought I'd bring it up because it came up earlier this week, and it kind of stuck under my craw for a little bit, because I was like, don't gatekeep. Like, don't gatekeep. Like, there's a lot of advancements that have happened with this tool. And not only that, but you're saying you can't be creative. You can't have full creative control with modern autofocus tools. I call BS on that. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. There's new stuff that DJI, Sony, and Canon have been doing to up their games with autofocus that are absolutely mind-blowing. And there are some really nicer lenses, and if not, you can take a medium quality lens and put some stuff in front of it, like a Pro Mist filter or some sort of other tools, like whatever else. I mean, you literally can just it's up to you. You know, it's not about looking down on tools. That's not. I don't know. It's like looking at a hammer and be like, I don't want to use that. I don't want to use that at all. I'm better than a hammer. I will use a nutcracker for everything I need to do. Well, what if you got a nail that goes into a wall and you kind of need to make something happen there? I will use my hand. I will never use a hammer. Okay. Like, some folks are a little bit like that. But I just wanted to bring it up. Like, things are changing all the time. Cameras are getting competitive. Cameras are advancing in technology. And it's a lot of fun to participate in that and to explore it and to stay on top of it. And does autofocus solve every problem? Nope, probably not. Like in La La Land, you'll see that amazing shot. There's footage of it everywhere, where the guy, I think his name is Avi. He was on an interview at one point. Whatever. We're not best friends or anything, but he's doing this. Somebody's tapping him on the shoulder to tell him when. He's doing this, and then you've got one person standing behind him with the focus puller, pulling focus on the shot in La La Land, between Emma Stone dancing and Ryan Gosling playing the piano. And this is happening live. So you get that whip pan motion. That's an iconic shot. And I know that a majority of us filmmakers have seen the behind the scenes on that, where we're watching this guy with this massive camera rig, just not twisting his own back, Iron Man style, where to get this shot. And you've got the focus puller in the background. Doop, 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 doop. No, probably you won't be able to get that with an autofocus camera. I'm here to tell you that. But, like, you can still do a lot of amazing things with autofocus. There are really great advancements. I want that $11,000, $12,000 camera rig one day from DJI with the chicken head thing. What's it called? The 4D. I want that one day. That definitely has some wonderful autofocus capability. And so, yeah, okay, I'm talked up. I'm all about all of that stuff. And yeah, I've literally covered everything that I felt like covering today. I hope you enjoyed today's chat. I'm so sorry about the coughing. It's kind of dry in this room, and I'm just getting over my cough. Maybe next time will be better. Come to the Wolf Boy party. Oh, and last thing that I'll tell you, if you want to join the free mailing list, I was talking about this earlier. There's a lot of great nuggets in that mailing list. It costs nothing, and you can unsubscribe at any time because I don't sell your stuff. Like, I have a personal thing it doesn't even have Google ads on it. I refuse to put Google ads on it because I don't want my people to be tracked by Google. I don't care what they offer me. I don't care what they'll be like. Hey, if you just put this little whatever on the bottom of your page, no. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. So you can have full confidence. Like, I'm not that person. I don't want my stuff to get tracked. If you unsubscribe, you'll never hear from me again. Give it a shot. I do shout outs within the community. I tell people about gigs that are in the area. I tell people about events that are coming up. I tell people about, like, I just started this segment about, oh, for heaven's sake, I was talking into the wrong camera. I'm so sorry. Oh, that's silly. Oh, I'm so sorry. There are, yeah, anyway, sorry. So there are lots of fun things that you can have in the newsletter, and I just wanted to put that out there because there are people that are starting to find it, and we're starting to break into the hundreds of subscribers, and that's really exciting because the more people that join, the more people can contribute to the content in that newsletter. So if you want to post something that you've been doing, I mean, I'm not really taking advertisements for, hey, I'm looking for a gig. That's not the point of this. I'm not a hiring agency. But if there is a gig that I know about that treats people well, or that is looking for people, sometimes last minute, sometimes further out, sometimes for actors, sometimes for musicians, sometimes for DPs, sometimes for writers, sometimes for whatever. Like, I try to change it up. And also I started the segment where I read something interesting that filmmakers might vibe with or respond to. And so I put that in my newsletter. Because why not? So I just wanted to put that out there. Join for free. Link in the description. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. So I think you'll get a lot of value out of it. I wanted to thank every single person. Let's see. We did a lot of topics today. Ta-da. We did so many. Our YouTube journey is still growing. Thank you for over 400 subscribers. Thank you for all that watch time. Thank you for all the lovely comments that you guys have been leaving. Like, you guys have been so nice on so many of my shorts. It's just been really fun to interact with you, and thank you for all the conversations I've been having on other people's videos. I don't know if anybody see that, but hey, we've been having some nice interactions, filmmaker to filmmaker style. So I'm just appreciative of it. I want to thank you for your time. I hope you guys had fun. It was a little bit of a fun stream. It was a little off format. Next time I'll probably take some questions. I'm still having fun streaming all the time. So, join me for a coffee next month. I will try to do a stream. Don't forget about the party on October 28th. There's a lot of fun stuff. We've got cooking. Link is in the description. Get a ticket because they're selling out fast. And there's going to be a lot of fun, lots of entertainment, and lots of great things for people. Like, we're probably going to give away more than we actually earn from the party. So it's just like the door covers so much, but it doesn't cover everything. So anyway, yeah, link in the bio. And I appreciate you. I hope you had fun. Thank you very much for watching with me. And I will see you next time.
Friendly Filmmaker is a Tuba Creations production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Mastodon. And if you like what we do, consider supporting us on Ko-fi with either a one-time donation or a membership. Members get all sorts of great perks. Check out ko-fi.com/friendlyfilmmaker for more. That's ko-fi.com/friendlyfilmmaker.